I realized at that point of time when I was leaving TCS in 2012. Generally, as a hiring manager, I never look for any specific tools or technology, how this candidate will fit in their team or maybe in their organization. So I should not expect any hands-on experience or real world exposure from the freshers, right? Because they're...
Hey everyone, welcome back to Learning Bridge. I hope you guys are doing good and staying safe. So I am back with another episode of Data Engineering series, and this is the episode 4. Today's podcast of Data Engineering, it is not going to be a typical interview experience, but it is something very important and something special, because multiple times I have received this query from aspiring data engineers, even experienced or working professionals who are trying to switch into the data engineering, that what would be the complete interview process for the data engineers, and most important, how recruiters will shortlist our profile, and then hiring manager, whether he or she will select our resume or not when we apply somewhere for the data engineering role. Then how they shortlist, what all things they will be looking at our resume, what all things they will be focusing. And to help you with these kind of questions, I have invited someone who has more than 10 years of experience and working as a data engineering manager. So today you will be hearing his experience, that what he will be expecting from you as a aspiring data engineer when you will be applying in different companies for the data engineer role. So don't miss this podcast, watch till the very end, and while watching this podcast, as soon as you hear meaningful information, mention it in the comment section. If it is insightful to you, then make sure to share this video among your friends who are working professionals, data professional and aspiring data engineers. It would be really helpful for them. And the last thing, if you're new to my channel, then make sure to kill the subscribe button and press the notification icon. And thanks to Cryo.do for sponsoring this video. So Cryo.do is a kind of platform which believes in learning by doing. If you are someone who want to crack amazing product based companies for different profiles like backend developer, front-end developer, full stack developer, and if you feel that you are lacking in the development skills related to the latest tool, tech stack, frameworks, and even hands-on experience of solving real world problems, then this should be the go-to platform for you, because they have some amazing extensive programs for you where you will be working on real world projects. So I have given the link within the description. Use that one. Amazing surprises for you. This is the Cryo.do platform. Free trial is available for everything. First you can observe, then you can take your decision, and the success of their alumni actually speaks for them, that the kind of value Cryo has added in their career. And here are the courses they are offering, like full stack developer, backend developer, fellowship program in software development. So here you can see all the important information, like what kind of tool and tech stack they will be following, what kind of and how many projects you will be working on. So all these details I'll mention here, you can check it out. And this is amazing fellowship program where even you will get the placement guarantee. So you can use the link which is in the description. It will help you to get extra discount along with the scholarship. Just check out the Cryo.do platform and shape your career beautifully. All right, so thank you so much, Rahul, for joining me on this podcast, and again a continuation of data engineering related experiences. Rahul is actually working as a data engineering manager, so it would be really great to know about his experience, how he used to hire data engineers, what his background and what he has experienced in this decade of experience for the big data. So Rahul, it would be great if you can introduce yourself to my audience and little bit about your past background.
First of all, thanks Ashan for inviting me for this podcast, and I hope your viewers can get some substance out of it, and it can help them in their career data engineering field. So I come from a very humble background, and from Madhya Pradesh in one of the small town. So I did my schooling in Hindi medium school, state board, and then after graduation, I got into TCS, and there I started working on traditional databases, ETL related tasks, and then I realized TCS was too big for me, to see or make such impact, and then I moved to one small company in Mumbai. And then from there, I started working on BI tools like enterprise ETL tools and SQL databases, relational databases. And then got chance moved to US for 3 years.
Nice.
And there worked as a consultant, and then came back to India and currently settled in Pune, working for Siemens right now.
So like you started your career in like 2010, and so far like 11 years of industrial experience. So my question is, like, when did you start with the data engineering? Because in the beginning you said you were only working on ETL related things, but data engineering is something which is a bit different, right? So when did you actually start your journey with data engineering, and when did you feel that this is the profile which will rise and which will get a lot of boom in next coming years?
Yeah, good question, Sashank. Actually, honestly speaking, when I started my career in 2010, right, that time this data engineering term was not very famous in market. So that time people used to call ETL developers or BI engineers, right? BI developers. I started on the same notes, right? Then later, when this cloud revolution came, I think around 2013-14, right? This AWS and Azure was rising, and also big data, right, with Hadoop, etc. And then I realized people started, moving from typical BI or retail developers to more data engineering field. So, and the potential was really huge. I realized at that point of time when I was leaving TCS in 2012. And by myself, I started exploring some cloud related concepts, etc. And some of the seniors, my cousins, I took some advice who were working in the same field,
Okay.
in big data related field. I took some advice from them. Unfortunately, channels like yours was not available at that point of time. So, but yeah, and then started learning cloud concept, and the potential I was seeing was really huge, and that's how I decided to move into more data engineering aspects of it.
Okay. I've been getting such kind of queries, and you would have also got these kind of queries. How data engineers are hired, the process, and shortlisting. And since you have been working as a data engineering manager, so it would be great if you can throw some light on it. So being a data engineering manager, like you need to build a team for sure. Like when you will be working on different projects, you need to build a team, and for that you need to hire resources. So like when recruiters share the profile or resumes of different candidate, then how do you decide if you can interview this candidate or not? Because it is up to the hiring manager to take the final call. So how do you decide?
Yeah, actually, so first the screening, as you mentioned, the once I get resume from recruiters, right? Three things I look basically in the resume, and
Okay.
generally I get a lot of resume and I have to shortlist in very short span of time, right?
Right.
So first thing first is how genuine that profile is, right? Because sometimes it happens that people are very much fascinated about this term data engineering or data science, right?
Right.
And they just put in the resume, but do not have any hands-on exposure to it. So you look at the technology stack, and it comes from experience also, right? You try to connect, just read their project details a little bit, and you can somehow, take a judgmental call whether it's a genuine resume or project or not, right? That's one thing. Second thing is, how that particular person whom I'm studying the resume is whether he is new into this field, trying to learn it, or basically he comes from some experience with it. And then last, the technology stack, right? So generally, as a hiring manager, I never look for any specific tools or technology, right? It's more of a mindset and frameworks basically should know. So, for example, somebody worked on any ETL pipelines or big data related platforms. Then I never look for any specific vendors, right? They worked on.
Okay.
If they know the concept well, right, and the framework well, then I'm good with them. The last thing is if somebody is transitioning from typical traditional BI or database developer kind of role to more data engineering role, then I know, I mean, their SQL or ETL knowledge or database related knowledge must be good. But in that case, I focus more on some scripting and scale related aspects of it
All right.
and some cloud exposure.
Moving on to the next question, like let's say you are hiring for two data engineering roles in your team. So one is basically for the fresher and another is especially for the experienced people. So during the interview process, what would be your expectation from these candidates? Like what would you expect from a fresher and what would you expect from a experienced candidate?
Yeah, it differs a lot, So when I'm interviewing any college graduate or fresher, you said, right? Um, so first of all, I look for. So I should not expect any hands-on experience or real world exposure from the freshers, right? Because they're entering into the corporate world. So the most important thing I look for is why they want to get into data engineering field, right?
Okay.
So basically, did they do any homework, right, in the past, right, to explore what is data engineering, what's the difference between data engineering, data science, different data related streams, right? So there should be some groundwork which they should have done in advance, and some of the use cases in they're readily available if you search on Google for big companies, right? How they build their data platform. So I expect at least from the freshers to know what is data engineering, right, and what they are subscribing to. And I would not go into too much technical details, right, about the tools and technology, but I just have to take a call whether they did some homework from their self, some study, some research, or they just listen this or heard this term from some friends, or it's sound fancy. That's why they're coming. So that thing I look for. in freshers first. And of course, the knowledge of SQL, right, is very important. And I think in college curriculum also they have this SQL knowledge. So yeah, that's it for fresher.
All right.
Nothing much. And one more thing, which is more not technical, but it's kind of behavioral thing, which I try to figure out that um, if they did any minor or major projects or internship during their college, right? And how did that go? And what experience they gained from it. So basically, kind of continuous learning or growth mindset, if they have or not, right? How they tackle the situation. So it's more behavioral angle than the technical. Now,
Sounds good.
to answer our second question, which is related to
Experienced candidates.
laterals or experienced professionals. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, in that, as I mentioned in the last question, right, about this resume screening first happens, and then when I go into the interview, technical interviews. So I these days I take more of a hiring manager round, but when sometimes technical rounds as well. So in that, majorly look for their experience working with scale of data, right? Not limited to any small data sets. So scale of data, various use cases they might have implemented, or not implemented directly, but a part of that team.
Right.
And if they know their projects, so I ask them if choose any project whichever you like you have implemented and explain that project end to end. And then I try to deep dive and just check here and there what all edge cases I also try to check if they have experienced.
Okay.
Then yeah, some basic SQL level knowledge and any scripting language.
Hiring manager round, behavioral round is not that easy to crack because it is more inclined towards the soft skill. So, what would you advise the aspiring data engineers so that they can crack hiring manager round easily? Basically, like what kind of questions they should expect in this round. The hiring manager round is the toughest one because if someone is technically very good, he can crack all the starting interviews, be it the online screening round, coding round, technical interviews. But this is the point which can probably decrease your chances to just crack the interview. So, your advice would be definitely really beneficial.
So first of all, as a hiring manager, what he expect from the candidate, right? So he or she, they imagine first, if they hire this particular candidate, how this candidate will fit in their team or maybe in their organization,
Right.
right? So there are various angle a hiring manager screen the candidate from. So first of all, as you also said, behavioral aspects of it, right? So sometimes it happens some candidates are very sharp in technical skills, but they lack somehow behavioral skills.
Right.
But when you work in an organization, it's kind of you working in a team, right? And together you're producing some outcomes, right?
Okay.
So a hiring manager does not look for what you have done in the past, right? That's very less important for him or her. They want to see if you put in some certain situation, right? Then how you behave or how you react to it.
All right.
So, for example, they will not ask you any questions or maybe some scenarios which you have already implemented. So they'll try to give you a new scenarios, and that could be a hypothetical scenario, right? And it's nothing to do with technology. It's to do with more of your mindset, how you approach the problem, right? So for one example, right, in one of the interview, I keep asking and also as a candidate also I face the similar questions sometimes. So they'll just tell you, let's say, for example, if you want to launch Amazon or Uber, right, in Antarctica, right, and you are the like launching manager, then how would you approach this, right?
Right.
So this is a very hypothetical question, right? Now your practical and your general knowledge comes into play and how you react to the situation.
Right.
And there is no right or wrong answer. Hiring manager is never looking for a right answer. He is looking for how you approach the problem and how your method of finding the answer. They are not looking exactly the tangible answer, but your method of finding the answer. So that's why it becomes sometimes very difficult because candidates are only prepared with a technical angle and with past experience. But this is something which comes with your not just a professional experience but personal experiences.
That's
right?
true.
How you live.
You might have also faced queries. People are working different profiles like SDs, Java developer, QA, testing profiles, and they want to make a career switch into data engineering. So my question is, how can they do it? And the most important challenge is like, how can they get practical experience, right, in order to get the interview calls? Because they are working, let's say, as a QA developer. So how how they can get some practical exposure of it so that they can mention something on your resume, and then they will be getting the interview calls. So it would be good if you can share some insights about it.
Yeah, true. I also, see same questions. People directly message me on LinkedIn when they want to switch their profiles from different background to data engineering, right? So, you know, first of all, you have to plan this transition, right? You cannot directly appear for an interview, right? Or keep applying for a job. So first of all, you have to plan. First of all, what is the skill set or knowledge gap, what between the work you're currently doing and in the data engineering space, right? So first you have to build that technical knowledge. So that can be built. You can subscribe to courses, online courses or offline classroom, whatever. And then once you are a little bit comfortable of the technology which you have learned, then you have to think of the use cases. And see, there are various ways to explore or exploit this. Maybe people can go and watch some content like your channels, right? Why not? You provide a focused content on data engineering, right? From you interview people coming from various background, various companies, and working in a data engineering field, right? So channels like yours or other contents available online. So they should just try to sense the water, of the ocean, how it is. And then coming to practical level knowledge, because this is all theory and preparation. But when you apply for a job, a hiring manager is looking for a practical experience, right? So I think there are two ways to do it. First of all, in your current organization, if you get a chance, right, to move into data engineering team, right, or so you have to internally search first, right, because that has the lowest barrier to move to, and then you can start working as a shadow. Obviously you have to stretch a little bit, and you have to keep talking to data engineering team leads or their other data engineers. Keep talking to them and keep seeing what use cases they are implementing. So that's one way of getting a practical knowledge. Second, if somehow you're not able to do it, right, then you have to yourself, you have to find some problem in real world, and then you have to implement a solution in such a way, kind of proof of concept, in such a way that how you would solve that problem, and you have to present a working model. At that model you can explain in your interview, and be very honest with it. If you do not have any practical hands-on experience in your company, then just mention that you did the POC of this, and then mention that project. If that is genuine, that will speak. And any hiring manager or technical interviewer, they would be happy to explore more about it.
Same question I will be asking for the folks who are typically working in these kind of profiles, like the ETL developer, SQL developer, and data warehouse developer, because the previous question was for the core profiles, SDs and QA, and they, like, you cannot expect them to be good at the big data side. But these folks who are in the like traditional big data profiles, ETL, SQL developer, DWS developer, they have some sort of understanding about the big data ecosystem, and now they also want to move into the data engineering. So what kind of things they need to improve so that they can also make this kind of career switch?
Right, very, very valid question, Sashank. Actually, this also something which I receive a lot from people. So I can speak for myself, So I started as I mentioned in the beginning, I started as a ETL developer or BI developer, you can say. So if somebody wants to move from typical or traditional ETL or BI developer to more of a data engineering role, first of all, so the best part is they have the prerequisite knowledge about basics of databases or SQLs. Right? Now they have to learn some advanced concepts, right? And so advanced concepts like exposure to any cloud, right? Cloud services, anything. Don't be specific to any one cloud provider. You can learn AWS, Azure, GCP, whatever. But knowing the services concept is very important. And then second thing, they have to prepare their mind for a scale, right? Scaling up the solutions. So traditionally, people working with low volume of data sets, right? Now, when you move to data engineering, these days everybody is dealing with big data, right? So your solutioning changes from traditional solutions to modern solutions. So that you have to explore. The third thing is for ETL developers, traditionally people were using some enterprise solutions or tools like Informatica or Talent for doing some ETL jobs, right? Building ETL pipelines. But when you move to more big data and data engineering side, then you have to think about some live real-time streamings data pipelines also, right, which were not very much famous in traditional
Correct.
days. So you have to constantly reinvent yourself, right, and learn a newer technologies. Apart from technologies, one very important thing which helped me personally a lot is knowing the industry trends, what's happening in modern companies or apps, right? How their data engineering teams are building the solution. So you can explore system design part of it, right? Data engineering platform design, and it's publicly available on Google, right? So I initially learned how Uber built their data
Yeah.
platform, right? So and then I realized, okay, this is my methodology of building ETL solutions, and now these modern companies are doing. And where is the gap? Now try to bridge that gap, and then you will be ready for more data engineering side of it.
Nowadays, so many fresh grads want to start their career in data engineering because it is booming, and like lots of people have started hearing about it. But the sad part is these profiles are yet not popular in the colleges. Like in the colleges, companies are still visiting for SD profiles. The hiring is only happening for the SD profiles, and in that's how like the you can say misleading information also available on the internet, because most of the people just think data is all about data science, AI, ML only. They don't just let them to focus on these different profiles as well. So what kind of crisp roadmap they should follow so that it doesn't seem confusing to them?
Correct. I totally agree with you, Sashank here. Um, so as you mentioned, a lot of content is available to consume, right? Now, not only just for data engineering, right? For any field you go, right? Any creative field, whatever, you first have should be able to narrow down the content which you want to consume, right? Uh, a new morning, you cannot just search on Google how to become a data engineer, then follow the link and do it, right? So first of all, narrow down your content and listen only from the authentic sources or channels. So again, I mean, again, I would like to mention your channels or similar channels like yours, right, who are just specializing in this area or this domain, right? Um, so consume content from these and try to narrow down the data engineering aspect of it. So generally, what one mistake freshers or maybe experienced people, they also make this mistake is they think data engineering, data science, machine learning, everything is
Correct.
like same, right? And they want. So first, you have to understand and able to segregate, not just based on technology, based on the use cases. What data engineering is, what data science is, what is machine learning, right? And then if you want to just focus on data engineering aspect as a fresher, right? Then just start building three skills, I would say. First is, again, I would come back to basics, very much required is SQL knowledge, some common database knowledges, right? Relational database or some non-relational databases knowledge, or DBMS, right? Generally, they teach in colleges. Just don't look from the theoretical angle or just to scoring high marks, but just try to explore. These days it's very easy. I mean, back in our days, though it's just like 10 to 12 years back, this we did not have that internet connectivity or YouTube, right? Different channels. But now you can see how practically companies are using it. Try to exploit it. So SQL knowledge, database related knowledge. Third is, I would say, any scripting language, whatever you like, any coding language. You should not hesitate from coding. That's very much important when you are coming to data engineering field of it. So these three core capabilities, just try to build. Don't feel too much attached to any particular tool or technology or cloud platform. Be very open, right, about these
Yep.
things.
Top five things which can make someone a great data engineer, like based on your experience, what should be those top five things?
Hmm. So I think some of the points we already discussed, but I would summarize in like 4 or 5
Yeah.
points as you mentioned is, um, first of all, you know, I would say growth mindset you should have or open mindset, right? You should not be too much attached with any particular, as I
Correct.
mentioned, the tool or technology. You should be open. Whatever comes your way, you will figure out. And after some time, you will also realize that you made that habit of constant learning when you keep exploring new things. So first of all, first point is growth mindset. Second point, I would say keep watching industry trends, right? For example, how like big companies, like FANG companies, are implementing this their data solutions, how they are building it, and try to follow some of the data engineers, let's say, on LinkedIn or on social media, right? They keep posting few things, so that would give you industry trends, and you will be updated. Third thing I would say, it may be a little bit of controversial, but keep applying for interviews on data engineering roles. Whether you want to switch a company or not, but just to check the water, right, where you are lagging, and take any feedback as a constructive feedback, and just try to bridge that gap. That will also help. I mean, when you keep appearing for interview, right, you can easily figure out your blind spots. That's something which I have also learned over the period of time. Fourth of all, fourth point I would say is stay curious, right? Always look for, don't be satisfied with what you have implemented. There would be someone who must have optimized your solutions or built it in much better way, right? Just keep looking for it. That's how you will grow within that space. And the last thing I would say in general, when you talk to somebody, right, you talk to friends or in your company, try to put your points in terms of, data, back it by data, not just any emotional or famous point. Try to back it by data, right? So that would be more authentic. And this overall, you will slowly somehow become a very successful data engineer.
Great. Awesome. All right. So we will wrap up the session with one final question. And it's not a question, it's just like final advice from your side, Rahul, for the job seekers who want to crack data engineering roles in the good companies.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, be authentic, first of all, what you have done, right? And because hiring managers can easily figure out. I mean, if they are very experienced, they will figure it out. Second most important thing, actually, I should mention is measure your experience success in terms of the impact you have made. What one common mistake I have seen people make during interviews is they keep talking about technology, they have created this and that. That's good, I'm not denying that, but just show the impact. If you have built some solutions, what problem you have solved in terms of like cost optimization or maybe data load optimization, or there could be various parameters or KPIs, right? You should be able to measure your success in those terms, and those really speaks. And the last thing I would say, when you appear for an interview on data engineering in any companies, these days a lot of companies have their own leadership principles, right?
Right.
They do not look for particular technology or tools. Rather, they try to model your interview in terms of leadership principle. So do a little bit research on that and try to answer, right, or respond. Try to give response in according to those leadership principles, right? So I think then it would be very straightforward journey.
So yeah, that's what we had for this discussion. So if you just liked it, then make sure to like the video, share it with your fellow friends, and also I'll put his profile link in the description. Go check that out, follow him, and if you have any question, you can put it in the comments. You can even ask these queries to Rahul. So thank you so much, Rahul. It was really wonderful, and we were discussing our podcast. We were trying to plan it since like 5-6 months back, and finally it happened. So really thankful for that. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ashan. My pleasure.
So if you find this video really informative, like this video and also share your takeaways from this podcast in the comment section. If you are new to my channel, then do subscribe the channel, plus the notification icon. I'll see you guys in the next week. Until then, just stay safe, stay home, take care of yourself and your family too.